happens when the guy you're pretending to like ruins all your plans to stay single? Hey, are you guys looking for a partner for the rides? My friend asked, shoving me forward towards another group of 3. He'd love to, they said, pushing one guy they called Troy out of their group too. He stumbled toward me looking as ambushed as I felt. Looks like we've been volunteered, he said with an embarrassed smile. We sat together on the first few kiddie rides while our friends giggled behind us like middle schoolers. During the second ride, while stuck next to each other on flying elephants, we made a pact. Let's just survive today, and maybe they'll finally stop trying to set us up with people, I said. He laughed and agreed, shaking his head at how obvious our friends were being. The plan was simple. Be polite ride partners for one day, then go our separate ways, until I learned about his secret. I thought it would be awkward the entire time, but I actually started enjoying myself. Troy was goofy, and honestly a bit cute. He made jokes about terrible ride photos we took with our eyes closed and hair flying everywhere. He helped carry my bag while we walked around, and when I complained about the heat, he bought me an overpriced lemonade and shared my churros, all while our friends fangirled off to the side, snapping pictures of us. Your friends do this to you a lot? I asked while we waited in line. Every time we go literally anywhere, he said. Grocery store, gym, now apparently theme parks. Yours? I sighed, nodding slowly. Same. Last month they tried to set me up with a guy at a funeral. Well, did he at least put the fun in funeral? Troy grinned. I scrunched up my nose in disgust. Oh God, don't make dad jokes. Never again, Troy, I said, fighting back my own laughter. Your laugh's too cute to hide it, you know, he said, his smile a little softer now. I felt my face slowly turn red, and I was sure this time it wasn't from the humidity. Just before I could say anything back, we made it to the coaster we'd all been waiting for. Goliath, the tallest, fastest ride in the park, one that drops you 20 stories down. Troy stood still. All the color drained from his face as he stared up at the massive orange tracks twisting through the sky. People were screaming above us. I need to tell you something, he said quietly. I'm terrified of these things, like legitimately terrified. His hands started shaking. We can skip it, I said immediately. The others won't even notice. I can't, he said, explaining how he'd only come to support his friend's birthday and didn't want to ruin anyone's day. Our friends yelled out at us to get in line with them. I held out my hand and smiled. I'm nervous too, but nothing will make you feel more distracted than holding hands with the girl your friends are forcing on you. So what do you say? Troy stared at me for a second before bursting into laughter. You're not wrong, he grinned and took my hand. We walked over to our friends hand in hand and they nearly fainted from shock. In line, Troy's grip got tighter with each step forward. Just don't let go, he whispered. Even if I try to run, I squeezed back. I won't. The climb up was torture. The clicking of the chain pulling us higher and higher. Troy had his eyes shut so tight, breathing like he'd just run a marathon. You're doing so good, I said as we reached the top. That's when he opened his eyes and looked at me instead of the drop. Thanks for this, he said, so sweetly that I wasn't sure if it was the first drop that made my stomach flip or his words to me. When we hit the bottom and swooped back up, he was still looking at me. By the time we pulled back into the station, something had completely shifted. Our friends were cheering about us, being so cute together, but they had no idea what just actually happened. Troy helped me out of the seat, and when our feet hit solid ground, he pulled me into a hug that had nothing to do with performing for our friends. I'd ride this again with you, he whispered into my hair. Troy pulled me aside by the lockers while our friends went on the ride again. This was supposed to be just one day at a theme park, he said, still holding my hand from that last ride. I know, I said, but what if I don't want this to be just one day? We stood still, the tension between us making it harder and harder to breathe. What if it's not just one day? What if it's every day, everywhere? He asked again, waiting for my answer. But it was crazy, too crazy. Even at funerals? I asked. Troy grinned and planted a small kiss on my lips. Even funerals.